I know that we could have been more prepared in London, and I feel people could be more prepared elsewhere in the country.
Should have the tube running in full, so that the people travelling on the tube are...
I think I personally today have the equipment I need, but I don't think we have all the equipment we need now.
Well, hopefully we went live this time. Had some technical problems. I don't know if I've resolved them or not. It's not coming up on the computer. First of all, I'm going to do a disclaimer. Hopefully, if somebody can tell me if this is live, that would be helpful. Let's see if I've got it on here. I feel I've got to do something. I can't sit and watch this unfold without doing something to try and help. First of all, it's not monetised. This is not monetised. Hopefully this is on. Please let me know in the comments down below, in the chat on the side, if this is live or not. Excuse me. We've never been... Thanks, Scott. Nice to see you again. Thanks for coming on Friday as well. It's not monetised. My other channel will have this up in it as well. Luftaboy Wood is on as well. Thanks. Sorry, I had technical problems. To say this is not monetised, it won't be monetised. None of the videos that I'm going to do. Ronnie, hi there. Hi, friend. I'll get back to you all in a minute. I'm just going to say this. It's not monetised. It will never be monetised. And I'm going to transfer it onto my Scottish.Indy.Media channel as well, because I've got quite a few views on there from my last streams. I've noticed that I was out, did a live video on Friday when the government says for the pubs to close voluntarily. Didn't work. I showed 4 pubs, 1 cocktail lounge as well. Some of the pubs had only about 10 people in them, but the majority that I went to about 8 pubs, and I stood outside quite a few of them. I didn't actually go in, I only went into 1 pub, and I stood outside and I questioned people why they were there, etc. And I had to be kind of standoffish. I didn't want to seem too aggressive. I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen today as well. And I understand that people had to go. I understand that, I'm just reading some comments here. I understand that some people had to go today and get food and prepare for actually being shut in their house for a good few days before they could go back out and get more food. I understand that. So I'm not criticising MD, I'm not blaming MD, I'm not saying it's anybody's fault. Hi Lenny. But I just feel I have to say something, I have to do something. It's been quite horrendous. It's quite a horrendous year actually, but we've never had a time where we have been unable to talk directly to our MPs, our councillors. The news people are now asking that I feel, and you can add to this here as well. I feel that our news people are now asking the appropriate questions. They're not being tough enough. They're not being aggressive with the questions. And we've never had a time where we couldn't question our government directly. We're being told we have to stay in the house. The phone lines must be going absolute bonkers all over the planet, never mind in Scotland or in the UK. So try to get through to MD to ask questions or to get answers is quite difficult. I actually tried to get hold of my local councillor, and his office was meant to be open between 10 AM and 2:30 last week, and it wasn't open when I went down at 2 o'clock. And I understand this, and I understand they've got their fears, everybody's got their fears. Even Matt Hancock the health minister has got his fears as well. He's got family. Everybody's got their fears. But when they stepped up to the plate for this job, and somebody has to handle it. Somebody has to ask the questions. I'll give out the National Health Service coronavirus helpline number, which doesn't seem to be anywhere on the NHS website, but it's on the side. It's an 0800 number. It's 0800 028 2816. It's a 24-hour helpline number. I'll leave all the links to everything I'm going to talk about below as well. And honestly, I don't care if people think I'm mad or laugh at me or whatever. I don't care. I've got to do something to try and help me as much as help other people. The World Health Organization, who I've looked in their website quite a lot and listened to a lot of their facts and figures. We keep getting told we have to listen to the science by our own government, and that keeps changing every day. They talked about herd immunity a week and a half ago. Now they've dismissed that. That's gone. We're locked in our houses. The World Health Organization, they've got an app. I'll leave a link again below. It's the WhatsApp app. Thanks, Ronnie. It's a WhatsApp app, and you can get that through the App Store. The World Health Organization will get you all the facts and figures, that you need to ensure that you stay home. People are not staying home. We've seen it in the news over the weekend. People going to the seaside, going to parks, going to Snowdonia. People are leaving their homes and going up the north of Scotland to camp. It's just not the way to do it. They keep telling us that we're 3 weeks ahead of Italy now before we get the virus. We're 3 weeks ahead maybe before we get the numbers, but we're not 3 weeks ahead of having the equipment. That's the problem. We're definitely not getting the equipment. They keep coming on the news. You see it all the time. I've seen it, you've seen it. It's on the internet as well. People are saying we're not getting the equipment fast enough and we're not getting enough of it. There's police, there's paramedics, there's doctors, there's nurses. Everybody's saying the same story. There was a story last week, St Andrews old people's home somewhere in Glasgow wasn't getting PPE at all. We heard on Thursday, I think it was, there was a whistleblower said that she was a nurse and they weren't getting the proper PPE equipment. That's personal protection equipment. There's too many initials being thrown about. Mary Jane Rodriguez, hi there. Hi to everybody who's watching this. My thoughts are with you all. We're not getting enough information and we've not been hit hard enough with the information. I said it last week in a video. I said, put it up in billboards, put it in shopping centres, put it up in bus stop ads, tell people now, tell them the facts, tell them who's dying. There's 24 doctors in Lombardy in Italy died because of this. 24 doctors who've got all the equipment. They've got the equipment, they've got the facilities, and they're dying. That shows you how bad it is. Ronnie says his wife's a nurse in Illinois, and she says it's getting to be a nightmare there as well. It's going to be a nightmare everywhere. Now, I looked up a daily record report the 15th of March this year, the 15th of March, not that long ago. And that report said, and I'll quote it from the government said there were 190 level 3 intensive care unit beds. That's the ones we need, with ventilatory support. These are the beds we need. 190 in Scotland for almost 5 million people. And that's throughout Scotland. Now, the uptake, the occupancy at that time was at 71%. That left 58 beds throughout Scotland. Now, if you take into the fact that that's 58 beds for the whole of Scotland on the 15th of March 2020, that's scary. So if we've had 15 beds, 58 beds then, and we actually have 190, and they're throwing patients out of these beds that don't need them, or releasing patients since then. Now, our Jeanne Freeman today promised that they would quadruple those beds, quadruple them to 700 beds. 700 beds for the whole of Scotland, 5 million people. It's not going to be enough. They keep telling us, and this is all I ever hear, is we're ramping up. It's going to be here very soon. It's an undertaking that we're looking at. I saw on today's news, there was a woman from PPS, they're a manufacturing company that manufacture personal protection equipment. Now, they've been contacting the government saying that they've got the equipment, and the government has not purchased it from them, and they're selling it to other countries. They're selling it all the time to other countries. Ronnie's just said that nobody can visit the elderly, nobody can visit anybody. This is the hard reality of it. If your relative or your friend gets the coronavirus, when they come and pick them up at your door, could be the last time that you see them. Now that is shocking, that we're at that stage, that when someone gets picked up at your door to be taken to hospital, you might never see them again until the day you're putting them in the ground. Now, I buried my mum last September. I know how hard it can be for people. There was a doctor, Katie Sanderson, on the BBC tonight for one of the London hospitals.
Well, we've also heard from another doctor just a few moments ago to get a sense of what it's like for them coping with multiple coronavirus patients and all too often seeing them die. I was able to speak to one just in the past hour after she finished her shift at a different London hospital. Dr. Katie Sanderson wrote an email to let people know what was happening. I began by asking her to tell me how her shift had gone today.
It's really, really horrible. It's horrible for us, but it's obviously more horrible for the patients and for their families. There are scenes of just unimaginable sadness, and I speak for myself and my colleagues in other London hospitals. Patients are dying who have staff members who are relatives who go straight back to work. It's really, really, really terrible. And I'm talking because I know that we could have been more prepared in London, and I feel people could be more prepared elsewhere in the country.
What's the biggest challenge amongst all the enormous challenges that you're facing at the moment? Just tell us what has been the most testing thing today for you, Casey.
The challenge for me is when multiple people are dying a day, for them not to be a number, to have a conversation with relatives, with patients about their death, the death of somebody in their family, that is meaningful and that makes it as good as it can be. And that is hard when you're doing it multiple times a day.
Do you have all the equipment that you need?
I think I personally today have had the equipment I need, but I don't think we have all the equipment we need now. And I think there is, among my colleagues here and in other hospitals, sort of sickening panic about what is to come.
And if you had a message for the Prime Minister, for the Health Secretary, from your experiences just in the last few hours, what would your plea to them be, Casey?
We're discovering all sorts of things, and I speak to colleagues and friends in Scotland and all over the place, and they have no idea because they're not seeing the volumes of patients. And I obviously know much more about how to look after and how these patients present than I did last week. And I just really, really, really hope we can communicate and share all of this effectively so that others are as well prepared as they can be.
And she was almost, if not in tears, saying that she had seen many people die today. Part of that 87 that died today. And she has to go back into the wards every day. They said on the BBC tonight that the nursing staff are praying before they go in to deal with patients in London. They're praying. We have to listen to what the government's saying. If you need food, go and get food. I understand, as I said today, people were told they had to go on lockdown from today. So you have to have time to prepare things. But make it the last day. 8 o'clock this morning, my local shop, there was a queue outside it. And they weren't standing 2 metres apart. I've joined a community group here, and I would say to everybody, join your community group, your local community group. And if you need help, you can call in that community group. Or if you can help, you can give help through that community group. You don't need to leave your house. It was on that community group that someone said that there was loads of people out in the street today in this area in Edinburgh. And they were walking their dogs, they were out with their family, they were taking the pram and the kids, and they were catching up with their neighbours on the street. That's not what it's about. We've got to lock down. We've got to actually lock down. They were in Kelvin Grove Park at the weekend. Mobs of them going out, enjoying the weekend weather. I know we haven't had any real nice weather for a while. Where are you, Ronnie? Some Florida beaches are staying open. I mean, what's happening in America is insane, totally insane. Totally insane. But I can honestly say that here in Scotland, we've been fortunate. We have been fortunate. It's not hit us that hard yet. I'll look at some of the messages. Chicago is totally shutting down, I'm hearing from Ronnie. Pennsylvania is shut down. Everybody else has to stay home. Businesses are allowed to open. 851 confirmed cases in Pennsylvania. Is that Pennsylvania? I think I'm early for America. I think the time scale is in the morning in a lot of places in America. Another thing that I want to point out as well, a lot of people are, Lenny's in Pennsylvania, 851 cases. Sadly. I'm trying to do the right thing, cough into the sleeve. I'm going to have a drink. On that WHO WhatsApp, there's a Mythbuster on it as well. So you can ask questions like, how long does it last on a sleeve? Important thing, if you're coughing into your sleeve, how long does it last in your sleeve? 9 hours, roughly, but it can last longer. But don't take my word for it. Go on the app, the World Health Organisation app. I'll leave a link below. And the coronavirus helpline, the National Health Service in Scotland, coronavirus helpline, 0800 028 2816. 0800 028 2816. I'll leave a link as well. What else can I tell you? What else can I say? I was almost in tears when that Dr. Kate Sanderson came on. It just broke my heart to see someone risking their life to save us, and we're just going out. The Health Secretary, Matt Hancock, says today, again, there's 3.5 million antibody test kits on their way. On their way. I know it takes time, but we've had time. We were told about this on the 15th of March, let's say. Then it went to Italy. We saw the mess Italy was getting into. He said there's 7.5 million PPE outfits or masks coming as well. I mean, in the next 24 hours, where are they? There was people on the TV tonight saying that they didn't have enough to go around, didn't have enough adequate stock. We need the facts. We need hard facts. We really need to be told the truth. And we need people like that Dr. Katie Sanderson coming on and telling us exactly what's happening. She watched many people die today, herself, personally, and she's gone back into that. And London is being hit hard, really hard. And my sympathy goes out to everybody. I'm no expert in any of this. I just feel that I've got to be doing something. I've got to be doing something. I put a notice out at my door. It's a noble board, and I just put on it some local information, just so if people drove past they could see it. I'm the only one that touches the board. It's right at the end of my driveway. At least it's something. Join a community group or form a community group so you can inform each other what's going on. Big problem. And I feel the reporters are not being aggressive enough. They're starting to be more aggressive with Trump in America. It's just insane. Rita, where are you? Over in Fife? You've got a community group? Yeah, I think Rita is over in Fife. Yeah, she's saying that folk get a rant on about some of the most trivial things, but obviously folks are frightened. It's also amazing how many experts there are. It's another thing I mentioned as well. I'm doing all right, Rob, thanks. I've never seen so many, and I say it, and I don't mean it to hurt anybody, I'm saying it because it's there. I haven't seen so many celebrity hugging experts. That's what I called them in one of my videos. And we keep getting different experts with different opinions. Give us the same experts. Give us the right opinion. Facts, not fiction. We need the facts. It's time to just do away with the bullshit. Spread the word. Tell everybody else. You need to stay indoors to save your life, to save my life, to save the life of our loved ones. 4 people died in Wales. 4 people died in Scotland. There's 422 dead in the UK. 87 in the last 24 hours. I don't know when we ever accepted that people will die. We never accepted people would die in the Falklands War, the Gulf War, Afghanistan, anywhere in the world. We've got adverts coming up on the internet all the time telling us we can't accept people dying in India, Africa, Asia. So why are we accepting it in this country? Why are we so accepting that we'll go out, possibly carrying the coronavirus? I'd like our government to definitively say stay at home, and if you don't stay at home, like they've said, you're getting fined. I don't think it's a big enough deterrent myself. I don't want to see any of my family die. I know. I'm going 30 miles an hour. Sorry, Rita. I don't want to see people die. I really don't. We've been told to wash our hands, and I'm just hoping that the government hasn't washed their hands of us and just crossing their fingers. You're right, Dr. John Campbell. He is giving clear and definitive information. Again, he's on one of my videos. I'll leave a link again there, but it's Dr. John Campbell. He went viral when he did washing the hands video, and he seems to know a lot about what he's talking about, and he gives great information as well. I know we're getting information overload as well, and I'm getting sore throat, but it's just by talking and my need to get people to listen. We could get political, Ronnie, Scott, we could get political, but there isn't any point. The main thing we have to do now is face what's in front of us. Deal with what's in front of us. Deal with ourselves, our loved ones, keep ourselves safe, and if idiots want to go out there and just flaunt the rules, they will unfortunately either be fined, arrested, or I don't want to say get the virus, because nobody should get the virus. We should have shut down the country when Italy was as bad as it was. I believe, if anybody can tell me below, I believe our airports are still open to China, Italy, Spain, and I don't think it's wrong that anybody wants to leave there. I just feel it's right that we shouldn't be getting an influx of people coming to this country. I think it was 2 weeks ago, Liverpool was playing Atletico Madrid, and there was 3,500 fans from Spain came to Liverpool, were in all the pubs, went to the match, celebrated, and we shouldn't have allowed it. We should have had the airport shut down. Is that what happened in Lombardy? Did everybody come back from their skiing holidays or their trips to Lombardy and spread the virus? Who knows? I just know that 3,500, 4,000 Spanish fans were in Liverpool less than 2 weeks ago. Our government should never have allowed it. We're doing no testing at the airport, as far as I know. Again, if anybody can let me know, tell me in the comments. When was the spring holiday, Ronnie? He's just saying that the kids were going to the beach, the Florida beaches in spring holiday. I'm just reading some of the messages. I'm getting a sore throat. Don't worry about me, it's just because I'm talking too much. I used to get this when I did auctioneering, if I didn't do it for a while. Cynthia, your husband's considered an essential worker, and he's a truck driver doing deliveries. And wish him all the luck and safe journeys. Yeah, Cynthia, thank your husband for me as well. These are the people that we forget about. We're nurses, we're doctors, we're physicians, they're all doing a great job. But the postman that delivers your mail, and it could be that he's delivering something essential that you need. The guy that's delivering your groceries, I know a lot of you can't afford to get deliveries of groceries, and that's what Boris and Matt Hancock, the health secretary, don't understand. The phone lines are going nuts for these places. I'm going to pray as well. The phone lines to everything is going to be going nuts. The DWP, Department of Work and Pensions, 4 hours to get through. That's what they were saying today. 4 hours. Normally it takes you an hour, 2 hours. I did it a couple of weeks ago because I was phoning up the DWP. People are going to want to know how they're going to manage now that they're at work. There's a lot of people going to be at work. We just have to be patient. We definitely just have to be patient. It's going to take time to get everything in line, all the new phone numbers, etc., all the new DWP rules, whether you're getting sick pay, sick benefit, or you're getting the new universal credit. It's going to take time to put things in place. So in some cases you have to have patience, but I think with the truth don't have time. We don't have time to have patience about the truth. We need the truth now. My throat's going. I'll read a couple more messages. I hope it's been helpful. I really do hope this has been helpful. And I hope people listen. I cannot repeat enough how that woman looked. That poor doctor that goes into work every day. And if she gets the virus, they'll send her home to recover. She might get tested for it. She might get a positive. She might get treated. She might survive. She'll go home and she'll come back out to protect you. So do the right thing. Protect them by protecting yourself. Stay home. Stay safe. That's all we're asking. That's all we're asking. There's links below. Just look at the links. My throat's going. I think I've said enough. There's plenty of information out there if you look at it. We've got 59 ICU Level 3 beds on the 15th of March, and our government did nothing. It's up to you. It's up to you. Stay home, stay safe, stay well. I'm going. Thanks. Take care. My thoughts are with everybody. Absolutely. Good night.